Hello everyone, welcome to Explain You Later. My name is Ricardo, and today I'm going to explain you the 5 most exciting things about the ES2022 you should know about. Let's go! ES2022 provides an array method called add, which may be a small change, but it can greatly improve the readability of the code. The add method is or can take positive but also negative numbers, and that will determine whether it starts reading elements from the head or the tail of the array. Let's give you an example. So let's have an array with 5 elements on it, and you need to read. Let's say you would need to get the last element. How you would do that in JavaScript, it's relatively easily. You would, in this case, we would console the array and pass the array length -1, and this should give us the number 5, like you see here, which is correct. However, now with the new feature, we can simply call array at and the position. In this case, the position, the tail position would be -1, and this by itself will return number 5. So let's say you would need position 0, you just array at 0, and this will return number 1, which is the first position of the array. Another great feature is called the top level await. And await is a great mechanism. In the past, it could only be wrapped in the async function. With the release of ES2022, we can also use it outside of the async function. I'll give you an example, and it's weird, but CodePen is still not allowing all these features to be running. So right now I just created a mock user info function returning me a promise, and this promise should be returned. And in fact, it's giving me an error calling await is only allowed within async functions. Well, this is not helping me out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a normal tab, and on the console of this tab I will run exactly these functions, and you'll see how it's going to work. So here's the function that is returning me a promise after some time, and I'll have the function normally, and then I will call the function with an await, with the await function, and this is returning the object, which is fat fish, returning from here from the fat fish. So you see the await worked great without being wrapped into in an async function. Another very cool feature, it's called Object.hasOwn. We often need to know if a property exists on an object and end up using the in operator or Object.hasOwn property to do so. I use this quite a lot, but they both have some flaws. Let's have a look then. Well, the in operator returns true if a specified property is in the specified operator, its prototype chain. And the Object.hasOwn property method returns a boolean indicating whether the object has the specified property has its own property. So having a short look what I mean, let me show you here what's gonna happen. So I just created a function person, and I define the age, and then I pass a prototype name to the person, and then when I create a new person, age is gonna turn through because it's part of the creation, the construction, and name, it's also passing through, although it has been only part of prototype. And this will pass, both will pass through. Just wondering, yeah, here we are. Both will pass through. So in case we use the hasOwn property, we are talking about a different approach that will have also different results. As you can see, P1 hasOwn property age will pass through, as you see here, but P1 hasOwn property name will be false, because we are not passing it, although it's part of the prototype. So that's where Object.hasOwn will help us out. With Object.hasOwn, we can create to circumvent these two problems, which is more convenient and safer than any of the other two methods. And we can I can give you an example here. Here we are. So I define an object, and I look for if the object has own object age, which will return true. And then I create an object, and I pass age inside of that with the number. And this object, the age will return false because the age attribute exists on the prototype, so it doesn't have own. And on this third example here, we create an object with nil, and then we check the hasOwn age, and of course this is not gonna be true because it doesn't inherit from an object prototype, from one of the prototypes. And so this I end up use this method in order to achieve a much clearer information about whether an object has a certain field inside it or not. The fourth great feature, it's so-called private slots and methods. In the past, we used the underscore, like here, to represent private properties, but it is not secure and may still be modified externally. So now instead, we will start using the hashtag. It's kind of funny. So with the hashtag, it will look very similar. However, just replace the underscore with the hashtag. Now the last one, the fifth one, which in my opinion makes the whole difference, is the new error feature. And the new error can specify the cause of its error. So sometimes errors for blocks of code need to be handled differently depending on their cause. But the causes of the errors are relatively similar. So it is great to be able to assign an error name to them. Like here you can see you have the function returning something with a try catch, and on the catch error you throw the new error where you specify the name. If you watch all my video, thank you so much for watching it till now. If you like the video, just press that button. Otherwise, you can also use the other one. It seems to work as well. Thank you again and see you next time.